Hello again, everyone. Happy Wednesday to you. I am Gary Gatto, and welcome to Velocity Online Racing's coverage of Championship Wednesday. It's round 6 of Season 2 of the Global IndyCar Challenge. As today we come for you from Interlagos in Brazil to crown a Season 2 champion. Joining me in the booth is Jack James. Jack, 2 weeks ago in Phoenix, Liam O'Sullivan broke our consecutive streak of different winners all in the last 7 races, and he may have also broken the will of the other championship contenders by picking up that victory. Liam is now a sizable 26-point lead coming into the final race here of the season in Brazil. We have heard the saying before, anything can happen in the final race of the season, but this championship is truly in the hands of Liam to win today as we start qualifications.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. I think that Liam O'Sullivan, he has the gap. He won last time out in Phoenix. Realistically, he just needs a finish today to be able to get that championship across the line. And don't forget, that's going to be heavily playing on his mind. So I think his biggest opponent today is not necessarily those cars around him, but those inside his own head. So he's going to be playing against himself a lot as he's now coming out on track for qualifying. But, as a championship decider, this is we couldn't really be doing it at a better place. I know that some of the oval guys would want maybe an oval to finish things off, but if we look over to the amount of championship deciding history this circuit has, one of many being 2008 in the Formula 1 days, Lewis Hamilton passing Timo Glock at the final corner on the final lap to secure his first ever Formula 1 World Championship. And 2012 as well, where Sebastian Vettel recovered from a lap 1 spin. He came through again to win the championship that year. So this circuit really has some history and pedigree for incredible championship deciders. Unfortunately, I believe we already have decided the team's championship, if I'm not mistaken. That has been tipped off to Altena Autosport. But everything else, Gary, is pretty much wide open.
Yeah, on the IndyCar side of things, and that's why I'm really glad Jack is with us today. He can fill me in on the Formula One history here. I'm very familiar with it. Of course, I remember this racing this track, the old PlayStation game back in the days. But beyond that, IndyCar never has raced here, so kind of we're watching a true fantasy type of race in a situation right here with the IR18s here on the road course in Sao Paulo. But USAC Kart and IndyCar has raced in South America 10 times over the course of their history, 8 times in Brazil, and a doubleheader in Argentina in 1971 on a very interesting 2.874 mile high-banked paper-clip shaped oval in Rafella. Will Power won 3 races when the IndyCar Series visited the streets of Sao Paulo in 2010, 2011, and 2012. And the Argentina doubleheader was swept by Al Unser Sr. at the time. But those are the only appearances of Kart, IndyCar, and USAC here in South America. Of course, most people, if you don't remember the streets of Sao Paulo, remember the Roval course that was the Emerson Fittipaldi Raceway that was kind of dubbed, actually, the first time I actually remember hearing the word Roval used because it was that trapezoidal, weird-shaped racetrack, and Greg Moore won there. Also, Andre Ribeiro got a very popular victory there, being a Brazilian driver, winning in Brazil. So a lot of people remember that racetrack, and it happened, unfortunately, to join the schedule about the same time as the IndyCar split. So some people remember that, some people don't, but I do remember that was a very odd-shaped racetrack. But on a more familiar circuit when Brazil, when you think Brazil, typically you think of Interlagos, don't you, James?
Yeah, it's the spearhead of Brazilian motorsport, isn't it? It's one of those circuits where it's incredibly unpredictable. We have a lot of elevation here, as you can see from our live pictures of the current qualifying session. 6 minutes left to go. These drivers don't have 6 minutes to set the lap time. They have 3 laps, so whichever sort of comes first in that respect. But here we see, I think it's said Junsao, the final corner, all the way uphill. This is a super important as Liam actually comes to a stop. That's not what you want to be doing. As Rodan Eftinck again, we have more drama at the final corner. So this is literally the perfect example of how challenging that last corner is, because the last straight, well, the home straight, even if you can call it a straight even, I mean, we're turning left about 3 times, but that's all flat. So it's going to be super, super important, especially on a qualifying lap, to get that last corner absolutely nailed. And because it's slightly off camber as you come over to the exit, Charpentier. Oh dear. What's gone on there? That was Rise, sorry. That's just losing it ever so slightly. I mean, you can see the drivers trying to open up that first corner, and that is allowed, I believe. Anyway, at least I know on Gran Turismo, but we're definitely not on Gran Turismo this evening. Yeah, I think that's just a case of the bumpy turn 1 entry. There's a lot of pressure on the rear tyres here, especially a lot of traction zones, so we need to watch out for that as well during the race, Gary.
Yeah, this is, in terms of elevation-wise, we don't really have a car or a course on the IndyCar schedule that I can think of outside of Laguna Seca that has the amount of elevation change here. When they're at the start-finish line, they're basically at the top of the course. When they're on this, what I call the infield road course portion of this track, it is all kind of in a bit of a bowl, and then they climb out of it, and then they rush up, as we watch right here, going uphill on this straight, all uphill. One of the longest straights they'll be on outside of Fuji, which we actually been on this season. And they'll be on that button, push to pass, and one of the few passing zones they have is going right there in the turn 1, which is a downhill, cambered, very oddly shaped corner that they'll try to send it down into. And then it's single file through a couple more turns down to another long straightaway into the second passing zone.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned the first corner. That was the scene of a very horrific accident for Gabriel Bortoleto, if some might remember, from the 2025 Brazilian Grand Prix. Just catching ever so slightly a wet patch, ended up hitting the wall extremely hard. But it is a very, very good opportunity to make an overtake. But you need to be careful, especially on lap 1, of the Constantino effect that CNRS that sort of first left, right, left section at the start of the lap causes. There's been a lot of tangles there, so that could definitely be a caution point for us later in once we get into the opening stages of the race. It seems to be, though, that there's a few guys struggling out there with especially turn one. I've had a look at the cameras myself and seen definitely some spins and a little few whoopsies through that first section of the circuit. So hopefully we can clean things up during the race. Otherwise, we're going to have some very unhappy drivers we might be speaking to later on this evening.
And there you see the rule set for today. We are doing 43 laps, just shy of 185 kilometers, 114.81 iRacing miles. There'll be at least one stop here, which we suspect that on a one-stop strategy at 43 laps, it'll be the window will open right around lap 34, 35, somewhere in there. They might even stop earlier just to get it out of the way if they can, because they don't need a full tank, I think, to make it through the second half of this race. So it'll be interesting to see how they handle that as well. But this is a 2.67 mile or 4.3 kilometer, 15-turn permanent road course. And it's been around on the Formula One schedule for, gosh, as long as I remember paying attention, and certainly as long as I've been playing Formula One video games. It's always seemed to be on the game as well. And I'm surprised IndyCar has never come here. I figured compatibility-wise this would be a good course for the IndyCars, but they opted to go street racing here instead. But Racing right now qualifying with a minute 55 left here to play. And right now, it's the Altena Autosports teammates that are going to be challenging here for the points championship as we go green later here in a couple minutes. O'Sullivan and Altena 1 and 2 right now on the provisional grid.
Yeah, that's a very big statement from O'Sullivan, isn't it, in the 63. Half a second clear of his Altena Autosport teammate. But F-Tink, and where is... I don't even think we have Aman Lal on the grid tonight, do we? I'm not seeing him on the startup sheet, so that's going to be him cemented into third in the championship, as far as I know. Do correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, amazing statement from the 63. Half a second clear from Altena, so that's going to be a mountain to climb for the defending champion. I think he's gone into this race, however, with the mindset of, I sort of need to run my own race and pray that O'Sullivan runs into a little bit of trouble after speaking to him. After a very successful, he didn't get the win, Julien, at Phoenix last time out, but it was very successful for him and the entire Altena Autosport team, actually, for that matter. But yeah, apart from that, we've got a 1/10 between Altena and Gardner. Not even a tenth, actually, less than that. And then all the way back to the top six with Vogelsang wrapping up the top six. It's very, very close in terms of lap time.
Yeah, only 3 hundredths back to Gardner from Altena. Toby Deck, he's had himself a pretty good day so far. He was fastest in much of practice. He is currently provisionally fourth as we are getting ready to expire qualifications and go racing here momentarily. 10 seconds left before we go official. F-Tink fifth, Vogelsang in sixth, Charpentier, Steinecker, Christensen, and Sissek. That is your top 10. A fairly small field here today, only 15 cars to wrap up the Season 2 championship as we just went official, and we'll wait for the starting lineup to get presented to us, and we'll get you into today's starting lineup here from Sao Paulo, Brazil, and Interlagos. And starting from the pole, it is Liam O'Sullivan with a time of 1:18 flat. Right next to him is his teammate and points rival and defending series champion, at least for another race. Can he win the championship? It's going to take a lot of luck in order to get Julien that back-to-back that he's been looking for. That's how he started his VOR career, with back-to-back championships in Season 1, Season 2 there way back 15 seasons ago. He would like to see another championship for sure. Then we go to row 2. We got Gardner and Deck. Watch both these two. They've both been fast all practice long. Back to row 3. And we got F-Tink and Vogelsang. As we were watching them provisionally, they did not move anything, so they will start from the third row. Back to row 4. Then we got Charpentier and Steinecker on row 4 there. And row 5, Christensen and Sasek. And then Van Grotest and Viche in row 6. Nigel Stock and the host with the most, Pim Van Gastel, right there on row 7 on the outside. Hatsuma and Rice on row 8. And that is it. That is your 16-car field for the finale of Season 2.
Looking at that front row of the grid, you see the car on the left, the number 1, that's Julien. So he's using the primary tyres, whereas the pole sitter is using the alternate tyres. So the red striped alternate tyres, they're the softer compound. So they're going to have a bit more purchase off this rolling start and a bit more grip, especially for those first, I'd imagine, 3 or 4 laps before they start to plateau. We won't notice that, but the drivers will definitely start to feel that. But then it's not until we look down to the car in 6th place, Marlon Vogelsang, is the only other car in the top 10 to run those primary tyres. So this is going to be really, really interesting to see how those two pan out, whether we're going to see them drop back a little bit or whether we're going to see them hold their own for the first 6 or 7 laps, I'm going to say, to see if they can then come back through the field once those alternates sort of drop off a little bit. One thing we also need to keep in mind here is the push to pass. It's sort of instead of DRS for IndyCar, for those who may be used to watching Formula One, although you don't have certain areas where you can use the push to pass, you can use it anywhere you like. The only thing is that you have a certain amount of allotted time for said push to pass before it runs out, and that is 200 seconds.
And we are coming uphill, a very long pace lap here. And then the pace car will leave, and then they will have a long roll before they get to the start-finish line. But yeah, you're right, Julien, with the prime tires. I guess he saw what Liam was doing, and really the only way, and we got a blinker there, Toby blinking in and out. The only way to really challenge is to do something different. And that might be a gamble that the only gamble he really has to play right now as we go green flag racing for the finale here. And our points leader is going to bring us down into turn 1 as we are still side by side from about P5 on back.
Just like Constantino, a little bit of Constantino effect further back. I think I saw 3 and maybe 4 wide ever so briefly, but everyone made it through no contact as far as I can see. We've got a challenge for the lead already.
He's going to come down. This is into one of the passing zones in 4, but a preferred position for Liam O'Sullivan holds him off. Julien's going to shoot to the inside, and he's going to have the position on this next turn, but on this following turn, he's not going to have it. It's a bit of a sweeper here in turn 6 and 7, and he's still hanging tough on the outside.
This has really, really surprised me. I thought that he would not be able to get those primaries fired up incredibly quickly, and Liam is almost on the back foot here. Julien actually taking the lead now as we head into Sector 3. This is going to be extremely interesting to see how O'Sullivan responds. No doubt he's going to be tucked under that rear wing of the number 1 car down into turn 1, and like you say, the turn 1 being one of the bigger passing opportunities here at Interlagos, we're definitely going to see a challenge, no doubt, from Liam O'Sullivan to get that lead back. Got caught a little bit lacking. It was almost like payback for Phoenix. Remember that? When Liam went from the second row of the grid all the way up to the lead of the race instantly. I think this is Julien saying, well, you can do it, I can do it as well.
Well, it's only one position, and it's a handful of points that Julien is making up by just being ahead of Liam. But if Liam continues to just see Julien on the racetrack, even in this position, even if Liam gets passed by Gardner, who's now attacking him and is right there as they are rolling down into the next passing zone in turn 4. As long as Liam can see Julien in close proximity, letting him go might just be discretion versus valor.
Yeah, thinking about that, actually, it could be a strategic play almost, in the fact of you don't want to get tangled up in something that you don't really want to get tangled up in. I said before we went out for the green flag there that O'Sullivan really only needs to finish this race. It would be nice to get the win. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure he would love to get the win, but I think it will be reward over risk rather than risk over reward for this certain stint in the race, unless he has a big pace advantage later on. But something that we need to point out, something that's very close, in fact, on track at the minute, is the fight for the rookie championship. So Gavin Gardner is currently third. He'll be leading that at the moment, and that might be something that O'Sullivan has playing in the back of his mind, because those rookies, they're still definitely within fighting distance, and they're fighting between each other for a championship. Of course they're going to be making moves.
Oh, here comes Gardner to the inside, taking a peek.
Thinks better of it that time around. O'Sullivan needs to watch himself here, because these guys aren't going to mess about. They're still fighting. Their championship is still up for grabs, very much so. And he's, when I say he, I'm referring to the 63, is he's actually going to let Gardner pass, is he? I think that might be a slightly...
Yes, he does. Yeah, he does. It's again, I think discretion is the better part of valor here. And he's just letting him go. He could shed a couple of points and still finish this race and win the championship. There is a 26-point edge he had coming into today's race, so that is, again, just another couple more points that Julien makes up. But you don't want to rest on laurels too much, do you, JJ? I mean, at some point, he's got to say, okay, I'm done being passed. Okay, enough of that. Let's just bring this car home.
Yeah, he's sort of, by letting these other cars past, yeah, he's avoiding the conflict and the possibility for a mistake or for something that's out of his control. But the more he drops down, the smaller that buffer gets, I think. So definitely there's going to be a point where he says, okay, I'm sort of going to draw the line here. You are now not getting past me, because at the end of the day, you know, he's going back down now towards the mid-pack, as Eftink's now going to have a look on our championship leader, and
he gets him. Oh, and Gardner smokes him in the one.
Whoa, I thought we were going to have a little bit of contact there. Slightly missed the apex from Rodan Eftink, but got that IR18 perfectly stopped at the apex, and almost backing O'Sullivan up now into Toby Deck, who's going to definitely want to get past him as he goes on a hard charge after the 77 that's found himself up one place actually into second place. That's Gavin Gardner.
Liam down 3 and outside of Vogelzang and Sesek, who started and lost 5 positions. They have lost the most, so not the most productive start for Liam O'Sullivan. But again, you don't have to be super productive when you come into the final race of the season with a 26-point lead. It's just like finishing the race. You don't need a full tank of fuel. You need just enough. And he just needs just enough to win this championship. So maybe he's just a little calculated and deciding to take it a little bit easier out there. And again, things could change as the tires wear off. But Liam opted for the red tires. And I'm looking at the conditions, and I have them in Celsius because the overlay that I'm testing today is in Celsius, but it's 24 on the ambient temperature and 40 on the track temp. So the track temp is kind of up there a little bit as Julien taking defensive position to the inside, coming down into turns 4.
Making his statement. Doesn't want to give Gardner the toe just yet. He wants to keep a little bit of a gap. But this is, yeah, I definitely wouldn't have expected this from our championship leaders, starting on the alternate tyres as well. You know, I thought that if he started on the primaries, okay, this is an understandable strategy. Just sort of get the car through this opening stage of the race and try and come through when everyone's sort of spaced out a little bit more. But the fact that he started on the alternates and had that extra grip, but still lost out to the likes of Altena on the primary tyres. It's really a different O'Sullivan we're seeing here tonight. We're definitely more used, well, at least I am, from when I've been watching him over the course of this season, being way more aggressive. He's always been the one going for the moves, going for the gap, trying to pick off places here and there. But this is a much more mature, very big slide into Jim South of Vancouver. Oh my word, fella, how did you... Oh, Nigel
Stock is off the track. He rejoins.
We'll get a replay of that, I think, in the next couple of minutes. But this is going to be the fight for second place. So Gavin Gardner losing ground to Rodan Eftink. The 72 sat hot on the heels of the numbers 77 car. Two sevens going against each other. How is this one going to work? We head into one of the overtaking opportunities of turn 4. He's going to sit behind there. This is where we saw the pass for the lead on lap number 2, I believe it was. He's going to, Rodan Efting, that is, not go for the move this time. You have to really have a pretty big overspeed to be able to get the entitlement to the track position on the outside. And it's almost not a braking zone in these cars, so it's going to be very, very difficult to outbrake your opponent. Looking a little bit further back, this is John Christensen and I believe Charpentier. These guys are fighting over, that is the back end of the top 10.
Ninth,
so looking at
10th, Vogelzang is in 7th, so this is a train from actually 6th if you take a look at Steinecker. Just ahead of that group, that is 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. Watching what happened to Stock here earlier.
Is that a wiggle there already?
Oh, yeah, going into the zone braking, and just the brake bias adjustment probably is what needs to address on that car.
Yeah, we get the onboard view here. Ooh, so he's lit up the rears already. Oh, that would have definitely spiked the surface temperature of those Altena tires. They'll be very sensitive to the different loads that they get put through. And as soon as he turns in, Gary, it just goes away from him.
The evasive maneuvers by the drivers behind him, hats off to those guys for missing him. As back to the battle at hand, Steinecker, Vogelzang, they are pretty tight together. Now we're watching Hatsuma on the racetrack. That is right behind him, Eli Sissik. Oh, and we goes wide there and at the exit of turn 1. And Sissik has a one-wing angel out there. He's missing his left front wing plane. So some difficulties a little bit further in the back for a couple of these drivers. Back to the inside, Hatsuma. It's going to get him into 4.
He's going to get the instant reply, isn't he? He's going to make that stick. He's not going to run off. I thought he was going to run a little bit wide there, but he's going to not have the run that he wants. And are we going to see some dive up to the inside? Oh. No, we're not. Okay, so with some lack of aerodynamics, especially through this middle sector, we're going to be struggling to keep that front end underneath us as we now look to, I believe, what's the fight in? This is Vogelzang.
Yeah, Vogelzang and Steinecker going into 1. Vogelzang down low, and he clears, but not quite able to shut the door.
So they're going to go side by side. This is going to back them right up into the likes of Christensen. He's going to be looking for an opportunity here on the push to pass Vogelzang. He's going to clear him, get into turn 4 away, and there's not going to be too much more trouble for the remainder of this lap. I mean, you can sort of engineer an overtaking opportunity in the middle sector, but because you don't really get up to speed, it's very, very difficult. You almost have to do a kamikaze dive bomb sort of attempt to really get the move done. And because you're then putting on so much steering lock, and you can see the camber there, it's so easy to snag a front tire. And once you've got that tire locked, the car really does anything but go where you point it.
Now we go a little bit further back. Vogelzang manages to put some space between himself and Steinecker, but Christensen Charpentier, the battle kind of rages back behind Vogelzang. Vogelzang finished on the podium Sunday in the Classic IndyCar Series when they visited New Hampshire, so he's had himself a good start to the week. Now we watch Jesper Van Grotest and the Monster Energy drink.
Monster Energy have seemed to have some success over the last couple of years in motorsport, getting themselves a Formula One World Championship last year, obviously with Lando Norris. And this actually, speaking of going back to that topic of Formula One again, this is actually one of the only circuits that, let alone Formula One, but world motorsport, that is actually anti-clockwise, so going the wrong way around. I mean, these guys will be used to it since most ovals, if not all ovals these days, are anti-clockwise, but the only circuits that actually share that with Interlagos, where we are today, is Circuit of the Americas in Texas, Marina Bay Street Circuit, so that's the Singapore Grand Prix, very, very difficult circuit. That is like 2 hours, nearly 3 hours actually of driving when the Formula One calendar go there in humidity that's upwards of 85%, so that's really, really demanding. But the the amount of elevation that we have here is only 40 meters, but because it goes up and down for almost every single corner, it's very much emphasized as we see these guys coming up to the top of the highest point on the circuit. We watch not on board. We were looking at John Christensen getting in on the action here for challenging 7th place, but trying to also keep Charpentier, the rookie, behind him in 9th.
And 40 meters is about 130 feet, so that's actually a lot.
Yeah, it's pretty sizable when you think about it in terms of sheer drop.
Oh, Christensen, and almost opens a door for Charpentier to take a peek to the inside there. Got slammed on him. Up front, Julien leads by 2.4 seconds. Go ahead, JJ.
This is going to be a little bit frustrating for Charpentier because he looked very, very quick, didn't he, at the start of the race? I saw him challenging, crawling all over the back of the cars around him, and Van Grotest behind him is going to be sizing this number 19 up for a move, considering it's all about the rookie points. I think these guys are less focused on their main championship points, although they will matter to some degree. But they're very much focused on this rookie fight, and Charpentier definitely wants to get Steinecker in between himself and the number 70.
Of course, there's a long history of very successful Brazilian drivers in IndyCar racing. And one driver making to run the pit road for their pit stop, and that is Steinecker for a very early stop here at lap 11. This might be able to get him to the end, actually. This is going to be very close.
That'd be interesting. So we'll expect him to come in the pits. Yeah, it's surprising. You know, I always thought that they would be able to push that tire a little bit longer, but maybe maybe he wants that clean air. You know, we're used to drivers working together in the GIC for more of the oval racing rounds that we've had, where we've seen swap drafting and emphasis on having cars around you to slingshot yourself forward. But almost it's the complete opposite now that we're on a road course, because these guys, whoa, a little bit of contact there, losing the front wing end plate, I believe.
Yeah, that is right front wing plane gone on Jesper's car.
Oh, that's definitely good. He's definitely going to feel that in the wheel. Oh, he's going to, whoa!
He made contact with Pim and sent Pim around. That was right at about turn 11.
That's the instant effect of him trying to go around the left-hander and having that lack of downforce. And unfortunately, Pim just didn't give him enough space there.
And he is not coming to pit road, but Vinci, okay, sorry, I thought Vinci was. We'll watch this replay again, and I'm going to probably be thrown off guard a number of times when drivers, I think, are coming to pit road with the way that they're cutting that corner at the apex there. At that corner. That's actually corner 15. Christensen on pit road to make a stop at lap, with 32 to go.
So this is the beginnings of that contact between Jesper Van Grotest and the cars around him. Christensen up there, Vogelsang, Charpentier. Sorry, I get the deliveries mixed up. We have so many cars that have that sort of,
I know, that's very similar.
It gets me every single time. Whenever I say it's one of them, it's always the other one. But anyway, here we go into sector 2, and I believe.
Oh, there it is. He just kind of just sends it right there, and
yeah, that's a little
clips off a part of that carbon fiber right front wing plane, and then watch that is it's inside here. It's going to be either netcode for sure. I don't think he actually made contact, but if netcode didn't actually take over, there was going to be contact.
Yeah, it's sort of one of those things where the contact was sort of inevitable, whether there was netcode or not. I mean, he would definitely argue that in the steward's room, that it was in fact netcode, but realistically, when you sort of in such an obvious situation like that, you know, of course the contact was going to happen anyway. Rise with a black flag for pit entry. Is that going to be speeding? We've got a replay coming up, so this is going to be onboard with Rise through the final sector. No one around him, so this is definitely going to be self-implemented. Whoa. So the incident limit here tonight, 14x, and I believe that might have been him crossing that 14x limit, which means that he'll be serving his drive-through in the next few laps. And I believe he's actually served that now. So I think it's going to be another aspect that we maybe have completely overlooked, Gary, is just the amount of off-tracks that these drivers are going to be collecting, especially with these sort of contacts and these 4Xs that we've seen, really clumsy 4Xs, if I'm being totally honest with you, but the 1Xs especially.
Oh, there's a battle back here. We're watching F-Tink and Gardner. F-Tink now leads this group, and our points leader, Liam O'Sullivan, in the third car line, fourth on timing and scoring in this race, just hanging out. Julien has pulled away by a 6-second lead now, and right now he is working on the not the Grand Slam, because Liam got the pole, but right now Julien does have the purple lap. He's led every single lap. So he has at least 2 joules of the Grand Slam within his grasp.
I'm surprised to see O'Sullivan sitting back and just chilling out so much. I definitely thought that he would have at least wanted to get himself in some clearer air and sort of get himself away from any potential danger, rather than just sort of sitting and waiting for stuff to unfold. But maybe it's all part of a master plan that we haven't quite figured out yet. I thought he was actually going to go into the pits there with the amount that he cut that white line. The drivers are allowed to do that. That is the fastest way to get to the finish line here at Interlagos, but it definitely throws me off. I don't know about you, Gary. It throws me off.
Yeah, I always think they're coming to pit road. That definitely does throw me off. Going back to talking about our points leader, if I remember right, when we were actually talking to him in his interview for Phoenix, he was rather nervous. He even seemed nervous 2 weeks out from this race. He goes, I got to get through the first corner, I got to get through the first couple laps, and then I got to settle in. So, I mean, he was already kind of at that point thinking ahead to this race, and it might have been just rattling on him over the last 2 weeks. It says that maybe the best place for me is just to take it easy in this race and get what I need to get out of here with the championship, and that's how I'll do it. And I can't take it away as we watching the back up to the front now as Gardner and F-Tink are battling. I can't take it away from them. It's a solid strat. I mean, don't do what you need to do to lose, but I mean, don't do what you need to do to necessarily win, but just don't lose a darn thing.
Big slide for Ronan F-Tink out of Jim Sauer there. Those alternate tires definitely not playing out for him, as they're now side by side into turn number 1. He's going to take the defensive line. He's going to stay in front. I thought they were side by side.
Oh, he smokes him going in the 1, and that's going to open the door for Gardner.
Is O'Sullivan
and going to open the door for Liam?
That was very, very close. You could see there that F-Tink started to come back across to take the inside line. Toby Deck's going to be licking his lips at this as O'Sullivan's going to back out, and this is what he needs to avoid. He's got Toby Deck chasing him down. He's going to want to have a go because he doesn't care about any sort of championship. He just wants a good result here this evening. The same with Ronan F-Tink, as we're going to get a replay now. So this is going to be... This has started from F-Tink's wiggle that he had on the exit of the final corner. So they're almost side by side. We're not going to see them at the moment, but here they go out of the other side of the grandstand. F-Tink grabbing a front tyre, and then it's just on the back foot. That's that Constantine effect I was on about before, Gary.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's out there on that kind of that artificial surface there. And that little bit of wiggle just is enough to interrupt the momentum, and that opens the door.
This is going to be really good, not only for Gardner, but for the next gen team. So they're actually in a fight between TWR and Rogue Racing for third in the teams championship. So they're going to be pleased with that mistake from Ronan F-Tink. You see him come right across the front nose of O'Sullivan, almost with contact, that would have been extremely bad for our championship leader. Almost a nightmare scenario.
But again, this Gardner kind of pulls away from that group. F-Tink kind of recovering now. But Toby Deck, you mentioned, got to be salivating back there, seeing an opportunity. And there is a lot to say about the final race of the season. And you have not had the greatest season. We're learning as we're going here, everyone else. So he's showing progression as the season's going on now. Final race of the season, kind of peaking at the right time. And now he has the what might be the eventual points champion in front of him. I would think that he's up on the wheel now, seeing this as an opportunity that says, I'm going to end this race on the highest note possible. I'm going to go for a top 5 and beat the eventual points champion to boot at a road course race.
That is something that's a very good point, actually. I hadn't thought of that. It's always a good thing if you're looking to put yourself in the window for a top front-running team like Altena Autosport. If you can pass those 2 cars in front of you that coincidentally both run for Altena Autosport, you're definitely going to be putting yourself on the market in good stead, especially going into the season break that we're about to have, obviously, at the end of this race. As you see John Christensen really struggling to get past. Who is that in front of him? That's Height.
That is Sasek right there. Still missing that in plane on his wing. He's got to know about it. I think he's just trying to get to his pit window. He's been out there for 16 laps, so he is yet to stop.
Yeah, it's going to be really, it's such a struggle, especially on road courses when you miss part of that front wing. I mean, obviously it's extremely noticeable on road course, not road courses, on ovals, pardon me. Little bit of, it's close, isn't it? It's so close. And they always seem to be locking the inside front down into that first corner, but it's the problem that you have on road courses is you can get round with part of that front wing missing, but it absolutely fries your front tires, and that's something that just gets worse and worse and worse the longer you end up driving with that broken front wing. And we're no doubtably going to see John Christensen now driving off into the distance away from Sasek.
Yeah, another track that you see it with the Indy cars, and again, it's just so the Indy cars, and watching now, I'm watching this battle here with Steinecker and Hatsema. Indy cars are very stiff, very, very stiff, and they do have suspensions, but they're not suspensions that we would have in our car to allow for a smoother ride. It's mainly the suspensions for these cars are to keep them as stiff as possible, to keep the contact points of these cars glued to the ground as much as possible to help the aerodynamics. That's kind of what these shocks and these struts on these cars and these dampeners do. But we don't really see the problem on these cars present themselves unless we come to racetracks like this. Here's Hatsema taking a peek to the outside, going into this downhill left-hander. But you'll see it like on the downhill right-hander at Watkins Glen, or going into the corkscrew at Laguna Seca. You'll often see drivers locking it up when they turn that wheel because there's no flex in the car. That's typically going to bring one of the wheels lighter in the way that the weight is transferred across all 4 corners, and that's typically where we see kind of the wheels start to lock up because it doesn't have that grip with the asphalt that the other 3 corners may have.
Yeah, exactly. You see Hatsema getting very, very, very impatient there. He was almost identical lap time to Charpentier. Sorry, not Charpentier. Charpentier is behind him, but they're doing similar lap times. And then Steinecker as well, almost half a second faster on his best. So he must be running into a little bit of issues with those tires as well. And especially with those on the alternates, they're really struggling at the moment. Every time we see a car with the alternate tires on, we see them run a little bit wider from the apex or have a little bit of a wiggle on the exit, like we saw with Rodan F-Tink a few laps ago. And another update at the front for you. Nothing really has changed. Altena still leads, this time by 11 seconds. O'Sullivan is still in 4th, hot on the heels of this man you are watching right now. You can see the front wing of that World Championship gunning number 63 behind him. And it's really, really strange. I really thought O'Sullivan would try and get away from these guys.
He's got himself also in a bracketed position there with a teammate. And that's another question I was going to ask you, JJ. We got 2 teammates going for the championship, but now we kind of have an interested but not involved third party along with the team in Road and Efting. How do you race Liam O'Sullivan? You're obviously going to not encourage any dive bombing, anything like that. You want to leave as much room there as possible and everything. But if you're Road and Efting, what do you do here? I mean, you want to you want to race for position. You've had a rough season. You want to get some results here, but also you don't want to be a hindrance to the championship at all.
Yeah, it's really strange, and not necessarily strange. It's more of a really difficult position for him to be in, because you want to still focus on your own race, as he really misses the apex there. Road and Efting very, very wide. He's got O'Sullivan all over the back of him now. But the thing is that naturally, even if it's subconsciously, you're going to be thinking, okay, I've got the points leader behind me. He's my teammate. Don't hit him, which he almost did, in fact, too, after that little skirmish at turn number 1. But you're going to want to give your teammates a little bit of a wider berth anyway. But especially if it's one of the guys that's fighting for the championship, maybe you're going to give him half a tire width more, just to account for that potential horrible netcode spike that we've all,
pit road.
Everyone's
also Toby Deck.
Yeah, so these guys will be reacting to, I believe it was Altena. Yeah, Altena pitted last time around, so they're going to be...
Oh, Deck black flag. And that's going to kill a very good day for Toby.
That's also going to kill his opportunity at fighting for that rookie championship. One tiny mistake has absolutely destroyed not only his race, but his entire season. That's going to be so gutting for him. Replay, Gary.
Yeah, we got another black flag of Vinci, and it might have been on. He might have just disengaged the button a little too early to try to get a run on things, and that's kind of what happens if you disengage the button early.
What it could have been is some of these guys, what I've heard from the drivers out of pit lane, what they do is they don't actually engage the pit limiter when they launch out of the box, because apparently that's slower. So
it's a bog. It does bog down the car a little bit. You're right. It does.
So maybe he just didn't press the pit limiter again fast enough, which is what caused that black flag. And this is going to be blatant. Great. That's just a little bit too hard.
Very, very close, razor thin. Liam O'Sullivan on pit road, and he does lead a lap there, but Julien Altena is going to pick back up the lead here.
So we've got another replay. This is Anthony Heitzmer. Is this going to be another one into pit road? Yes, it is. And he's going to get a 2X, I'm hearing in my ear. So it's not going to be for, as far as I'm concerned, he doesn't hit anything on the way in. I think that could have been a false event recorded on our timing systems, because it looks pretty routine for me. But this is
hearts are rolling still.
Yeah,
that part. Let's see what happens. He goes out and gets I think he gets a new front wing, and a death snap right there. Wow.
So this is no doubt this is going to be straight out the pit lane. He's gone on the grass there ever so slightly, so he's going to have slightly dirty tyres, and he grabs the curb. Yeah, that's something that you get in the hypercars here a lot, actually, in the endurance side. With cold tyres, some of these curbs are slightly raised, and they have the perfect amount of vibration when your wheels run over them to give you a slight slide. And especially with cold tyres and a brand new front wing, he's not going to be used to that. He might have been putting a little bit too much lock on. And it's one of those slides, that is so quick and so aggressive that the only thing you can do is point that front end the completely other way.
And Julien has now resumed back the lead now by 16 seconds. F. Tink is in second, O'Sullivan third, Gardner fourth, Vogelzang in fifth. And mentioned Vogelzang's week. He started the week on the podium in the Classic IndyCar Series at New Hampshire. Julien won that race. He dominated that race, and in the 10-plus year history of the Classic IndyCar Series, a series been around since 2016. He is now into the fraternity of winners of that very illustrious Classic IndyCar Series league. So he has had himself a good week, and he is now looking at a pretty good midweek by only 20 laps away from a win here to wrap up the season, but it might not be strong enough to get that championship. If distance back to Liam O'Sullivan mattered, maybe there might be a margin of victory there in the championship, but unfortunately, Julian's not going to get any extra points by getting a 15-second win.
Yeah, he's not really. I mean, you can win the race by as much as you want, but at the end of the day,
right.
A win is a win.
Yeah.
And you can't really get any more points for how many laps you lead or how many seconds you
margin
you
of victory
get out in front. Exactly. Right. I mean, I'm sure that Altena would be absolutely loving that at the moment, but the pace that he's been setting since he's come out of the pits has been absolutely incredible. Last time round was a little bit of a mistake, being a 1 minute 20.5, but before then, I was seeing constant low 19s, which is the best part of half a second up on the likes of Roden Eftink, O'Sullivan and Gardiner that are sort of in the high 19s to sort of 20.0. So maybe a small mistake from Altena, missing an apex here and there, but when you're 15 seconds out in front, that's going to be not exactly something you're going to be worrying about, as long as you don't end up doing that too much and obviously cook your tyres.
You can hum a tune that you got so much of a lead, and hopefully it won't distract you. But fastest lap of the race is a 1:19.2 by Julien, set a little bit earlier in this race. A 1:19.9 by Eftink, a 1:19.8 by O'Sullivan. Gardner, 1:20 flat, and a Vogelzang with a 1:19.8. Those are the fastest laps they've set. Vogelzang is on the only car in the top 5 right now on the soft tires. Everyone else has switched to the prime, harder compound.
So I wonder if he's going to go for another stop here, because realistically, you can make it to the end, I think, quite easily now, if you're running that primary tire. But if you're going for that, I believe that would be his second alternate set of tires. I think he started on them as well. So that's going to be it's a very aggressive strategy that he's actually going with. Hopefully it can pay off for him, but it'll be very interesting to see what he does in this middle stint while everyone's on the primary. So we're going to need to watch out for him, definitely. Just watching Gavin Gardner and Milan Vogelzang here. This is for 4th place. These two are the best part of 20 or so seconds away from Strecke behind them. So they're very much in their own little world, in their own small little battle. Not really too much going on the racetrack at the moment in terms of fights. Why I say that is Deck looking to the
closest
inside.
battle on the racetrack is Deck and Pim, who Pim had a little contact we saw earlier. He went sliding, and now Deck got that speeding penalty. And both these drivers might be seen a little red, probably Deck more than Pim at this point.
Yeah, it was so unfortunate for Deck. The smallest mistake that you could possibly do, getting a small penalty on pit road. Obviously, it's small in the pit road, but costing his race massively. This is an onboard replay with Heitzmer coming into the final sector, and he misses the apex there, so you won't get any black flags for that. But oh,
there it is.
What happened there? He's nowhere near
Looks
a curb
like
or anything.
just the back end came around on maybe a little brake bias adjustment need to be made there or something. And
I have to say, these Dallara chassis look an absolute handful around here this evening.
They don't. Yeah, these are open setup races, so if your setup's loose, it's your fault. But these cars definitely don't look as nimble as the Formula One cars that run through here.
Yeah, they definitely look a little, as you say, because they're so stiff, they definitely look a little bit more less flexible and less willing to go around some of these corners, especially in the middle sector where you see the guys tag in the front tires because of how stiff these cars are. They don't really like to ebb and flow and sort of move with the undulation that we have here at Interlagos, because they're so used to, running 200-mile-an-hour average laps at Indianapolis.
We just had a battle for, we just missed a pass for second. Sorry, yeah. These definitely, you're right. These cars definitely look at home on the oval at Indianapolis more than they do here. But Liam O'Sullivan passes Roden Eftink and is now in second spot on the racetrack.
This is going to be a replay off the pass, I believe. So is that another bad exit for Eftink?
I believe it is
as well. Was he letting him past here? It looks half as though.
Yeah, it looks like a little from column A, a little from column B.
Yeah. Okay, so that's really strange. Okay, so Eftink's literally just decided, you know what, maybe I short fueled or something, and I need to save a little bit of fuel to sort of get the gap to Gavin Gardner behind us and secure that third place position. But he's not really stayed with O'Sullivan either, so he's dropped back the best part of, I don't know, visually I'm going to say that's about 0.6 of a second, maybe a little bit more.
Come on, Lyle checking in chat. He says he's all aboard the Eftink train.
Well, he's going to need to have a chat with his boy after that one, because whether that was engineered by the Altena Autosport boys or not, I am yet to find out. I think that's going to be a question for the interview room later on. But it looked like the fact that he was so offline coming out of this final corner here, maybe it was a mix of a mistake and just thought, you know what, he's fighting for the championship anyway. Let's just get it over and done with. Ooh, who was that into the pit lane actually? Someone diving into the pits. That is
Strecke on pit road, along with Christensen.
So these
could be final stops for both these. Yeah, they're going for a two-stop strategy apparently.
Okay, so Christensen was just on the primaries, and the same with Strecke. So maybe are they going to put on a set of alternates and try and set the timing sheets alight?
On my screen, and Strecke spins coming out of the pits right in front of Christensen. Christensen avoids him, but they stuck with the prime tires.
Gosh, the cold tires here seem to be playing absolute havoc. Lights the rears up. He's going to have boiling hot surface temps, and whoa, hold the brakes there, fella. Amazing job by Christensen to actually avoid the spinning Strecke in front of him. But as you come off the pit lane, I don't know those have driven this Interlagos circuit on iRacing.
It's a very narrow
lockup. Yeah,
it's a very narrow. It's like the pit road exit here reminds me a lot of the pit road exit on the road course for Daytona. It's like very narrow, and the second that you go offline, you're kind of almost into a wall right away, or Armco. Yeah.
The worst thing is when you actually turn left off of the main pit lane onto that really tight Daytona-esque pit exit, is you have a drop. The circuit drops away from you, and there's a weird sort of apex there's sort of a weird uneven surface on the inside. And I think that's what he caught, which caused the spin, especially with cold tires. You're not really going to be saving that one. On the plus side, he's going to have a lovely set of warm Firestones when he rejoins.
Rapid undulations going on at slow speed, and again, these cars do not like elevation changes. Another good example of elevation changes on a road course that these cars don't like at Mid-Ohio, especially when they come out of China Beach in that area. They go up into kind of up and over out of China Beach area. And normally on the over portion, when they're coming out of that, the back ends get really, really light. And again, these cars, even at slow speeds, do not like elevation changes at all.
It makes it really good to watch, though, I'll tell you that much. Just watching an onboard like we are with our race leader at the moment, no doubt we're going to see some very smooth drive. But even there, that's sort of a fourth gear corner. You see the correction from Altena. These cars, unlike Formula One, you see Formula One onboards around here, and they literally look like space rockets. Whoa, another big slide there. Whereas these look like you have to drive them, you have to fight them round the circuit. Constantly on exit, you see a little bit of oversteer, a little bit of correction. Look at that. Whoa. Beautiful control from our race leader. Hopefully he's not using up too much of his... Every single corner, Gary.
And he's using every bit of that generous runoff area. As now we watch him head down the main straight here, coming to 12 to go. And we're hearing that Eli Sisek is out. So by math, that is going to give Gardner the rookie championship. So congratulations to Gardner for winning Rookie of the Year.
That's going to be a really tough one for Eli Sasek to follow, because we caught that incident earlier on when he came up with the new front wing and just swapped wends on him, basically, and put him in the wall in rather spectacular fashion. And that was completely driver error. So he's going to be kicking himself for that one. Hopefully we see Sasek come back for a second season, because he's definitely had some good moments.
Watching this battle, watching Stock and Christensen. Julien off to, again, just updating the leader. Julien's going to be a little upset. He's paying for these broadcasts and everything. He's not getting a lot of TV time because he has such a huge lead right now at 16 seconds. But Julien now coming to 11 to go. Very shortly now looking at a possibility of getting his second win. It's hard to believe he won the championship last season with one win. He won at the Iowa round 4. And has not had a win since. So it has been a bit of a dry spell for him here in the GIC. But like I said, a good week for him if you include the Classic IndyCar Series, which runs the Aero 5, the Legacy Dallara, the very old Dallara IndyCar chassis here on the service. He had dominated at New Hampshire. And looking for, that's a good way to start off your week. And now a good way to go through the mid portion of the week is to get a win here. And then, you know what, JJ, the next big race for him will be this Sunday or this Saturday when we have the Velocity Online Racing's 15th running of the Indy 500. Maybe it's a good way to bracket the beginning, middle, and the end with victories.
Yeah, it's gonna be it's a really good way to set up the run for the VOR Indy 500. He's definitely going to be going into there. If he can win here, yeah, it would be a bit frustrating for him that he doesn't get the championship, but no doubt he'll still be extremely happy with the win. And like you say, it sets up good momentum that he can carry towards this weekend, because I think if you could choose, I think he would rather have the momentum going into Indy and potentially being in a position that O'Sullivan finds himself in at the moment, where he sort of found himself on the back foot a little bit in this race. I'd definitely want to be Julien in this situation, going into this Sunday, not with the pole for the 500, but with a lot of momentum and his head held high nonetheless.
That is Liam that's on the pole. But if you're just joining us, this is Velocity Online Racing's coverage of Championship Wednesday of Season 2, the Global IndyCar Challenge Championship, coming to you from Brazil and Interlagos. We've now have 10 laps to go of a abbreviated race that was shortened to 43 laps. Make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel so don't miss out on the next race. The next race for us here on the channel, as we mentioned, will be February 21st for round 6 of season 15 of Velocity IndyCar Racing, Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Championship, the 15th running of the Indianapolis 500-mile race. And that is one that has eluded Julien. He has attempted it 15 times and is in 14 times. This is the 15th running coming up. He's attempted it 14 times, and much like fellow Brazilian Tony Kanaan, who ran 13 times before getting his first win, Julien will be looking for his first Indy 500 win in the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Championship this Saturday. Coverage starts at 2 p.m. Eastern Time right here on the Velocity Online Racing channel, and it should be a good race. We're going to have almost 30. I think we're going to have a full field. I think we'll have 33 starters, 200 laps, 500 miles, and we get to use the hybrids for the second time that we've seen here in the family of Velocity Online Racing leagues and races. Of course, the first time we got to use the hybrid here was actually when We watched the GIC run at Indianapolis earlier this season, and that was a very interesting race. Decided right at the line between Klindy and Jesper Dahlgren. So both those guys just by a nose. Now we're watching this battle. Here comes the leader of now approaching the battle between Stock and Christensen for the bottom portion of the top 10. He's looking to put a lap on him.
Yeah, so, sorry. I've been a little bit under the weather this week. Just trying to recover from a cough that I've picked up. It's honestly, it's that time of the year where once you get sick, it takes almost 3 weeks for you to get yourself fully recovered and back on working form. But I've managed to keep everyone's ears safe this evening so far, so I'll try and keep that up. But yeah, back to the racing anyway. So blue flags are in play. They are in force. So these guys will have to get out the way sooner rather than later, as Julien is homing in on them, which is a bit of a shame because these guys have been putting on a pretty good show for us in the last couple of laps. But looking forward to the fight for second place, F-Tink is still well in the slipstream range of O'Sullivan, and he needs to be very, very careful if it's gonna be a move that he takes to get back to second place. It needs to be decisive, it needs to be clean, and it needs to ideally stick, because the last thing that either of these guys want is accidental contact or too much side-to-side running, which could end in many, many tears.
Julien now leads by 18 seconds over Liam O'Sullivan. F-Tink now in third. Gardner with that Rookie of the Year championship just needs to bring the car home at this point. And you know, sometimes that's easier said than done, JJ. You get in these races that there's not a lot of action going on in your neck of the woods, so to speak, where you are on the racetrack, and the mind begins to wander, the focus fades, and all of a sudden you can run the car off into miss the apex, run it off a little wide into the grass and spin it around, and then all of a sudden your chance at a rookie championship is gone. So Gardner still needs to navigate these final 8 laps as we watch Julien on the outside.
Whoa.
Sorry, as Julien, go back to Julien and Christensen. That was a close moment going into turn 1. We're watching this battle further back with Liam O'Sullivan and Roden F-Tink. But Julien going into 1, and Christensen stays to the inside, but it's a wide front stretch, but it narrows down into the corner, and that was a lot closer than Julien probably wanted right there. But to Christensen's defense, JJ, where do you go? He did everything right.
Yeah, he got out the way. You could see on the replay, he got far over to the left-hand side, so he was as predictable as he could be, but it was just an awkward point of the point of where Altena actually made the move was literally right on the apex. Altena would argue that Christensen didn't lift early enough, but at the end of the day, Christensen's still trying to catch, you know, he's still trying to fight for position. He's still trying to catch the cars in front of him. So he's more than entitled to still carry a fair bit of speed into that corner. But what do you say about keeping the focus and making sure you don't run yourself off was what was flashing through my mind earlier on in this race when we saw the 63 staying in that pack of cars and not really doing much and just sort of circulating. Potentially he could have been using them as a reference just to sort of keep the laps going.
Julien almost spins out, sorry. Oh, he does spin out, contact!
Oh!
Broken rear wing with Hatsum on the wing, snaps back into place, but he looks like there might be damage, and this is all happening at turn 1.
Oh, no. 2 laps in a row, same place, same corner. Oh, it's all by himself, Gary.
Yes, and then there's a contact right there.
Oh, no. Oh, he can't even complain on that one. That's all him. So what I saw, you saw briefly a plume of grass on the right. Watch this on the right-hand side. Watch his right-hand wheels. There.
Ooh,
onto the grass.
Trying to make that a wide apex.
And then Stock just really tries to get out of the way. Oh, Heitzema, sorry, not Stock, Heitzema. So Heitzema actually gets the... So I'm hearing that Heitzema actually now is DQ'd because... Yeah, so this is on board with the 22. So there goes Julien. Tags the grass. Heitzema follows suit.
Oh, and then that's... And yeah, there you see an instant DQ, so... Oh, Julien coming to pit road. Julien coming to pit road.
Oh, this is going to be horrendous times. This is exactly what he didn't need, but he's doing everything so perfect. Gary's leading by 15 plus seconds. It was up to 19 seconds at one point. He's going to come in, going to go all up on all fours, so he will get a new set of alternate tyres. And it's going to be a sense of let's actually get the knuckle down and get back to the front of this race. I mean, in some
I don't know if he's going to have enough time. It's 5 laps to go. I'm not sure if he just couldn't make it on fuel.
Yeah.
And with that question then is Liam O'Sullivan going to have to come to pit road and make a stop? Or was he back there fading and saving, though? Well, I mean, again, we didn't bother to think about that because the distance has been changed. We expected kind of a lap in the 60-lap range originally scheduled, and then because the field was so small, it got shortened. So we haven't really been paying attention to pit strategy like we normally have, but it's possible that Liam might have been doing a little sandbagging back there. We'll see.
That could have explained why he dropped back so early in the race. Whoa, a little bit wide there for the new race leader, and it's almost insane how he's just sort of chilled out this entire race, not really done too much, not really made too many moves, and yet he finds himself in the lead of the race with 5 to go. How he's managed to do that, I genuinely could not tell you. That is racecraft, I think, at some of the tallest order. But now we'll need to see if F-Tink wants to have a look and wants to have a crack at a race win, because when you're fighting for a podium position, when you're in fighting for second place, it's a podium. You're okay finishing third, but when it's for the win, that's a different story.
Roden has a win in the Velocity Online Racing. I believe he has a win in the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Championship from a season ago. But that's the only win in these family of leagues that we kind of work together here. And he is pushing. He is pressing right now. He has made it to the attenuator. He is working on it right now.
He always in contention, is Roden F-Tink, but so many times things have happened, either self-inflicted mistakes or just bad luck and getting caught up in incidents, has meant that he hasn't really shone through what he's truly capable of. I can recall a number of times, not so much in the GIC or the VOR series, but more the International IndyCar League that we broadcast on Sundays. He's been in contention so many times for race wins there, and he's been so competitive. But here comes the move, Gary.
Here it is. Going to take a look to the outside. Liam defends to the inside.
Be careful, boys. He thinks better of it. He's going to slot back in position and try and recalibrate a move. We'll see if he gets on the push to pass, which I think he is now. With the green background on the Delta means the driver is on the push to pass. He's going to look to the outside. It's not going to be enough. He's not actually even going to have an overlap, and he's swarming all over the back of that number 63. Looking to the outside this time.
He wants that win. He does. He wants it now. And again, Liam, let him go. I mean, if he's going to push the issue and be aggressive and possibly impact my championship within view of the championship. I mean, he can see it in the distance with 2.5 to go, and he gets right there. How hard do you want to fight for this?
I don't know. This is where the real maturity of a driver steps in, because you're in the lead of the race. You have your teammate of all people bearing you down, wanting their first win in the GIC, but you're going to have to fight for it. Now, do you just let him pass and be the bigger man and secure the bigger prize, which is the championship, or do you push for that win? And I think O'Sullivan will push for the double. He'll see the mist, so to say, come down in front of his eyes, and he'll definitely be locked in for that win with 2 to go. Very close now, Gary. Look at this. We might see another attempt into turn number 4. F-Tink, look at the Delta on the timing tower.
He's on the button. He's on the button now. He's going to take a shot. He's going to go to the outside, defensive to the inside. Liam O'Sullivan slams the door into the passing zone, and he goes wide.
F-Tink needs to tighten up the margins if he wants to make the move. He's got the speed. I don't think he's got the confidence to really fire it around the outside. I think he needs to be a bit more aggressive than that if he wants this win.
I am mistaken. He did not win in the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Championship. This is his 6th start today here in the GIC. And in the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Championship, he has 14 starts and 6 top 5s and 7 top 10s. Oh, Christensen off by the leaders. Come right through.
What a replay. So this is Ruthes. He's going to come out the pit lane. Cold Firestones on that car.
Yeah, and he grabs a little bit of the grass there. And good thing the Armco was there, because I think Julien was actually coming around the corner. Oh.
Oh, no.
Black flag for Julien, and unfortunately, I might have reached the incident limit. White flag is out. Liam O'Sullivan is leading now the last circuit of the last race of the campaign, going into turn 4. And look at Efting make a wide turn there, a wide exit, trying to maximize all that speed. He's going to get to the attenuator right here in this set of corners. This is 6 and 7, coming down into 8. He's running out of opportunities. Oh, he smokes the tires. Liam it's going to allow Efting to get a little closer. Now they go through 9. They're going to get close again in through 10.
Oh, he's looking. Oh, this is very, very good racing to round out the final race of the season. Efting swarming all over.
And O'Sullivan only has 16 seconds of push to pass left. Efting has 60, so Efting can spam the button right now.
It's all about the exit. Both drivers get
and they're
off
both
the
on the button. If he's going to run out of steam, Liam O'Sullivan looking at the championship and looking at the win, coming off the final corner here at Interlagos, and right behind him, Roden Efting. He's going to run out of time and space, and Liam O'Sullivan will win the final 2 races of the season, get his 3rd win of the campaign, and clinch the championship for the 2nd season of the Global IndyCar Challenge.
What a finish that was. Gavin Gardner coming across the line, P3. Best finish of the rookies, which means that he is also finishing off his incredible rookie season with a championship and an overall podium. So congratulations, Mr. Gavin Gardner. What a rookie season. But now we're going to have a look at the replay of a bad day getting even worse for Julien Altena. That running wide means that that was one X that he might need to get. Oh no, another one there. So that's both off tracks, meaning an unfortunate black flag to end his day. And add insult to injury when only 10 laps ago he was so set in stone to win this race.
Let's go ahead and get in. Let's go ahead and get in the final unofficial results here from Interlagos in Brazil. Liam O'Sullivan gets the win and clinches the championship in the finest way by getting a win in the final race and kind of going out with no doubt. No doubt whatsoever. Liam O'Sullivan, the winner. Roden Efting with and you talked about it, one thing or another, JJ, it just comes back and bites Roden, and today he gets it, puts together and puts a good run for the win there at the end, and just runs out of time and space, and he comes home in 2nd. Gavin Gardner, best finish of the season, and in a great way to clinch the rookie championship by getting your 1st podium and best finish of the season. Milo Vogelzek very quietly into the top 5, finishes 4th. Julien Altena, not the race he was looking for, comes home in a distant 5th. So it's going to be a little bit more margin of victory that Liam O'Sullivan's actually going to clinch his championship with. But Julien really dominated this day and unfortunately didn't get the win here in the final round. Toby Deck had himself a decent day right up until the point he got caught speeding on pit road. He's going to come home 6th, but he was up in the top 5, well in the top 5 for much of this day. Charpentier in 7th. Pim Van Gastel spinning at one point in this race, comes home in 8th. Nigel Stock in 9th. And HJS comes home in 10th. Moving on to the next and last page, Christensen 11th, Vince 12th, Van Grotist in 13th, Hatsuma 14th, Susek 15th, and Chris Rice comes in the final spot there in 16th in the 16-car field here. in Interlagos.
A race really that I didn't expect, to be honest with you. It calmed down a lot very quickly. I thought we would have a lot more drama, especially with that first opening sector and the pinch point that we were talking about before the race. But it was more so just the amount of self-discipline and not picking up those off. Was the way to go. And what I really think was quite admirable of Roden Efting there is he had the opportunity to really send it around the outside, especially into turn 4. It was such a good opportunity that he had, and he could have really gone for it, but I think
What we'll do is we'll bring in Roden first. Okay. Stand by. Yep. Well, we will bring in Roden first, and then let's bring in Roden here, and we will talk to him right away. Roden Efting, congratulations on the P2. Made a run of it there at the end. In fact, you had more push to pass than Liam.
Hit by someone, but you should correct me on that if I'm wrong. But yeah, I mean, I must just trying to race cleanly with Liam, because I know if I killed him, his championship would be over. So yeah, I mean, it's not worth the win if you're going to kill your teammate who can win the championship. But overall, it's just an amazing result for the team still. I think this whole season for us as a team has been pretty good. Every race we have been at the top. For myself, I think I could have done a better job. I got killed a couple of times. I messed up myself, but yeah, overall looking back at the season, I think yeah, we can be happy with this season.
Let's talk about you in this car. You're still somewhat new to this car, learning a lot. What have you picked up here most recently here in the gets into you, just never able to put both halves of the story together. We always see you getting good at qualifying and having the pace there, and just never quite be able to bring that that finish home. The finish happened today. Talk about what you're learning the most.
And everything, but mostly on the ovals, it's been my own fault where I just get tired, go into the wall. It's just a concentration thingy for myself I need to work on, and then I think I'll be fast and maybe get a good result on an oval. Yeah, on the road course side of things, it's pretty much just getting used to the car. Well prepared as a team, and I'm glad I could help with like building the setups and everything for that. So yeah, pretty much just that.
All right, any shout outs, friends, family, sponsors, anyone you want to say hi to for finishing second here today? I mean, it's a good way to go out on the season. That's
pretty much it. Just all the guys that make this happen and make this as good as it is, pretty much.
All right, Roden, congratulations on finishing second here today. I think it's just a matter of time before you get that first win. We will be surely there, hopefully there to see it. Congratulations, and we'll check you at the next race, probably this weekend at Indianapolis when we do the 500 for the
Definitely.
Velocity Online Racing Championship. Yep.
Yeah, see you around.
Take
Thank
care.
you.
And with Gavin Gardner, our Rookie of the Year, and finishing third today, JJ is going to talk to Gavin.
Mr. Gavin Gardner, how was that? Rookie championship in your first try, season 2 of the Global IndyCar Championship. Talk us through how you feel, buddy.
Yeah, hey guys. Yeah, it's feels pretty good. I mean, I will say I think you can only win the rookie championship on the first try, but apart from that, yeah, it does feel fantastic. I've not driven these cars too much, so yeah, it's been a great experience.
Yeah, I mean, of course, only you can only be a rookie once. But talk us through that race. Obviously, your main competitor, Sasek, unfortunately got into a bit of contact, got that new front wing after his pit stop, and then lost it into the wall. Did you sort of, were you aware of that? Did you have someone, your spotter maybe in your ear telling you, okay, just bring it home now, or did you really just focus on your own race? Talk us through how that sort of went down.
Yeah, so I was mainly focusing on my own race. I think I noticed after qualifying he was pretty far back compared to where I was. So I sort of knew, if I don't make any big mistakes, I should have it in the bag. I think it was, like I say, 3/4 way through, or whatever it was. I saw the name pop up at the top that he'd left the session, and thought, I mean, that takes a bit of pressure off, but I still wanted to push forward to get that podium. So yeah, hoping a bit of magic at the end, and yeah, managed to get that as well, which is a very nice combo.
Yeah, not only a good result for yourself and a first podium, but for the team Next Gen Racing as well. I mean, what a way to end off the season for yourself. You come home with the rookie title for the team, as well as the first podium for yourself, and really it couldn't have gone much better, could it? But what's the plan? Are you gonna come back for a season 2? Are you gonna come back next time around and try and challenge for an overall championship, or where do we go from here?
Well, I think I've definitely got the itch now. Definitely going to be doing a lot more IndyCar racing. Yeah, hopefully you guys. I don't think I've got the pace of some of these top guys to go for that overall championship, but going for maybe a win or another few more podiums might be nice to get a bit more experience. And yeah, just having fun with it. It's been great fun in this league. I've really enjoyed it. The setup's great. I think you guys have a fantastic broadcast, and getting involved has just been really fun for me. So yeah.
That's always good to hear. But before we let you go, is there anyone you'd like to thank? Team, sponsors, people that have helped you throughout the season to bring home this championship for you?
Yeah, just thanks to the guys at Next Gen. Thanks to Mark Sykes for painting the car for us. Thanks to Jamie, who didn't manage to get to the last few races, but he's a great teammate. And yeah, thanks to Nigel, who's been in the chat with me, egging me on and giving me the support that we needed. And yeah, big thanks to you guys for the broadcast, and the guys who set up and admin the league as well. I know it's a lot of effort. It's a fantastic setup. I think you've got, especially for free. It's really, really good. Helps get people into the car. So yeah, appreciate you guys as well.
Oh, well, it's always nice to hear the kind words from the drivers. But anyway, fantastic job, mate. Well done. Rookie champion of season 2 of the Global IndyCar Challenge. That's Gavin Gardner. Hopefully we'll see you soon. If not, I wish you all the best for the future racing, and hopefully we can see you at the top at some point in the future.
Brilliant. Thank you, guys. Cheers.
That is Gavin Gardner. We will bring in Liam O'Sullivan, our race winner and series champion. And here he is. Joining me is Liam O'Sullivan. Liam, it was a kind of a tale of multiple stories in this race for you. And I don't know if you were expecting that victory to kind of fall into your lap. I don't know if you knew that Julien had to make another stop or whatever, and then things kind of compounded for him. But at the start of the race, it looks like you were kind of, and I was kind of taken a little bit from our interview at Phoenix. It almost sounded like you were just a little nervous coming into this one. Just kind of want to make it through the first couple of laps here at this racetrack. And Julien really raced you hard. I don't know, maybe taking advantage of kind of maybe some nervousness coming into this race, and decided he's going to really make you work for it on the opening laps. And You kind of faded a couple of positions to the back, but you kept Julien in sight. Then as the race went on, you kind of pick up a position here, pick up a position there, and then all of a sudden, Julien comes to pit road late in the race, and wham, this thing falls into your lap. And even though you have Roden that's hounding you here all the way to the end, all of a sudden now you're in a position now I'm going to clinch the championship, but I'm also going to do it with a win. It had to be a kind of a surprising race for you for how it started to how it ended.
Yeah, there was a lot of parameters, surely, throughout the whole thing. I mean, firstly, I'm super happy to get over the line. I mean, it was a worry, especially when you can't drop the final round. It's like, well, if I can get through turn one, I should be fine. But it was, yeah, I was just being sensible early on there, letting Rodden look like he had more speed early on than me. I wanted to go for it. He can go. Gavin as well. I tried to get the lap lead point just to help me out as well for the first lap, but Julien raced me so hard, as you said. I was like I don't want to just be stupid here fighting for 1 point that I don't really need. So I fought him for half a lap. Fair bit of space between us. I probably at some points could have shoved him off the racetrack a little or tried to squeeze him just to hold on to it, but it's not worth it. But yeah, I let it play out. I got the lap extra on fuel there, which I wasn't actually expecting, because when it settled down, I thought the pace was quite slow and Julien really got away. And I don't know why the pace was so slow first stint. I've just by others, and obviously I can't really force the issue, so I just took the opportunity to save the fuel. So it put me in quite a safe second place. And then I think Julien had some trouble there at the end. I knew he had to make another stop. It was quite the pace he went off at and his whole strategy. And I knew all I had to do was, if he won the race, was to be in the top six. So I was very comfortable where I was. And then obviously, it as you said, the win kind of fell into my lap there. And I knew with him sort of out of contention then at that point that I was free to fight Rodden for the win. I think that's actually the first road course win I've managed in any series, which in a way feels just as big, because it's like, well, I come from a road racing background and I've just won a load on ovals, but not actually a road course win in any series, whether that be VOR, JIC, or whatever series else I've done, which feels really weird to say. But no, super happy with the championship. I mean, Julien fought me hard the whole season. The last two races at Phoenix was massive in giving me the nice buffer coming in here. A race which, honestly, I think would set me up perfectly for this one. But no, it's been a great season. I mean, 3 wins out of 6 is pretty good going for me. I'm very happy. But no, we've done well as a team, and we'll move on and try and get VOR locked up between us all as well.
Yeah, that's going to add to your championship cabinet now. You can actually start a shelf. You got the championship from Iconic from a couple seasons ago over in the Velocity Online Racing Iconic Series, and now you got the one here, and looking pretty good in the VOR IndyCar Championship. And now, funny that you mentioned that. I should have known that stat that you haven't won on the road course yet. You've always been in the running, but yeah, come to think of it, all the races that I seem to remember you winning that I've interviewed you at, they've all been on ovals. So checking all the boxes today. How do you feel now at the conclusion of the season, and with everything you learned, and possibly with that extra momentum now heading to Indianapolis, starting from the pole for the VOR IndyCar Championship on Saturday? How you feeling about that race now? You have won there in the past, and now that a win there this late in the season in that championship might be putting you up for a kind of a rare two-peat here.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully this momentum continues. Indy's obviously a massive race. Kansas was a bit of a dip, I thought, on Saturday, where I didn't probably execute or use, say, 100% of my brain cells to get on a better strategy there, or maybe save a bit of fuel, which I sort of got away with in Gateway, but didn't, as you said. Well, Kansas was a bit of an outlier for me, but nevertheless, still lead the championship by a similar margin. It's weird because I can't really race properly for Indy when you can't drop the round due to it's a forced drop. You can't drop it if you crash in the drop, right? Which makes it, and I think it's double points as well. That's still in the rules, so it's one where if I get a top 3, I'd be very happy to kind of get out of there and leave. Obviously, if the win comes available to me at Indy, well, I'm going to go for it. But it's a really weird feeling going into Indy. I'm super happy with the pole to get them points in. But I just want to survive Indy, and the same with Vegas at the end of that season. They're 2 rounds where you can't afford to crash because you can't drop them, and it makes it really difficult to manage. But no, as you said, momentum's high for me at the moment, and we'll look to carry it on. I'm best prepared as possible for Indy to get the second Indy VOR win. There's going to be some tough competition. It's a very good field. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But realistically, with championship head on and not Indy mode on and wanting to win Indy, if a top 3 comes to me there, I'll be very happy to come out with that.
Well, now's your chance for winning the championship and becoming the lead driver now of the GIC. Any shout-outs, friends, family, sponsors? You have the mic. Go right ahead. Take all the time you need.
Yeah, mum, dad, grandparents watching as always. I mean, every race, following along. So it's nice to get that done and them to watch that as always. You guys, the broadcasts have been such high quality recently. I mean, there's been a noticeable step up, and it's been appreciated by, I think, everybody watching, everyone around, where I think it almost sets such a high standard that it's expected to be followed all around the place. Even like I got comments based off that this is better than Race Spot and stuff as the standard we got on after doing the Porsche eSports stuff now. Yeah, the team as a whole. I mean, again, I think there's been all the ovals, I think, apart from Indy, was a bit of an outlier, but we've just been running away with it with ourselves, which is a credit to everybody in the setup work, and that's every member of the team's been involved in that. And it shows in the championship as well. And yeah, everyone else that goes enrolled, Pim runs a great league here. Hopefully season 3 is just as good. And we'll move on and try and lock up VOR like we've locked up GIC. And a special thank you goes to Jack, my British racing friend, who's entered the commentary booth and said a lot of nice things about me and done a good job. So
You haven't heard what he said about you off camera, though. That's what.
Oh, have I? No. Long may it continue, and hopefully be speaking to you in winning and drinking milk at Indy.
That's yeah, got to drink milk next at the end of next Saturday. Well, congratulations on the championship. We'll see you this Sunday, or excuse me, this Saturday when we go to Indianapolis for the 15th running of the Indy 500-mile race in the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Championship. But congratulations on the win today and also clinching the championship here in the GIC. We'll catch you on the track whenever that next time might be.
Yep, thanks, guys.
JJ, it's got to be a load off on him to get this championship, and it kind of. I said it to him, and he kind of agreed. It kind of fell right into his lap, getting the win here today. I think he expected to win the championship. I don't think he expected to get that win.
Yeah, no, definitely. I was even surprised. You know, we had all this chaos and God knows what happening, and then guess what? With 3 laps left, we've got Mr. Liam leading the way and bringing home another win. I think that is genuinely the cherry on top in terms of what he wanted out of tonight. But like you said, in very similar to Julien, although Julien's weekend, well, day rather, evening, went downhill so quickly, this even more so puts momentum in his lap. You know, he's just won the final race of the GIC. He's just wrapped up the championship. He's already gone and put it on pole for the Indy 500 for VOR on Saturday, which we will be covering. It's all these things that have just gone his way, and he's building such big momentum towards Saturday. And to be honest, I would not be surprised if he wasn't right up there in contention for that win on Saturday. So I think, you know, he's really, really sort of upped his game now, and he's definitely keeping that momentum going, and we'll see how long that continues.
He's starting from the pole, no less, for Saturday's race. So that's going to do it for today. We're going to wrap it up here on this Wednesday, give everyone back their midweek, and get on with the rest of the race weeks. That's it for today. Once again, your podium here from Interlagos. Liam O'Sullivan clinches the championship and gets the win. He wins the He wins the battle and the war here at the end. Gets the win here in Interlagos. Road Neftink with his best finish of the season comes home second. And Gavin Gardner with his best finish of the season. And what a way to peak everybody getting their best finishes of the season in the last race of the season here is the way to do it. Gavin Gardner also comes home as your rookie points champion. Join us here again this Saturday for the biggest race of the season for the VOR IndyCar Championship campaign. It's the 15th running of the Indianapolis 500-mile race from the world's most famous race course. That's Indianapolis, Indiana, with the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Coverage starts at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, that's 2:00 p.m. Eastern Time right here on the Velocity Online Racing channel. Just hit us up at YouTube and search Velocity Online Racing. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game is not an easy one, so please help support us with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below. Let us know you thought of today's race. If you enjoyed today's coverage, support us by smashing like in the video. If you're new, click subscribe. And while you hit the bell for weekly reminders so don't miss out on more Velocity Online Racing's other iRacing coverage. You saw it. We had a video, a graphic of it. There's a lot coming up. You don't want to miss it. So to learn more about Velocity Online Racing, visit velocityonlineracing.com. You can like them on Facebook, and you can also follow them on X. So for Jack James, Howie Burrows on the control board, everyone here at Velocity Online Racing, I'm Gary Gotzo saying to all, hey, happy Wednesday. Thanks for watching. And to all of our men and women serving in the military and as first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Congratulations once again to our champion, our Season 2 champion, Liam O'Sullivan, for winning the race and the championship. That's a way to go out. Catch us all right here this Saturday for the 15th running of the Indy 500-mile race for the VOR IndyCar Championship. Until then, we'll see you, and have a good one.